So here we go, the second part of the homework. We are going to do a redox reaction in an acid media. So we have to balance the two half reactions, we have to balance the acids and everything like that. Gets a little bit messy, but we'll work through a couple of them and see where we get to. So this guy is copper, solid, plus nitrate, going to copper, plus nitric oxide. Okay, so we've got to go through and assign oxidation states to everything here. So this is going to be 0, it's all by itself. -2, -6, there should have been a negative charge here, sorry. So this shall be a +5. This is now 2 plus, so we're going to say it's 2 plus, -2, +2. So when we look, my copper went from 0 to +2, my nitrogen went from +5 to +2. One of the things that confuse people a lot of times is, well, my oxygen went from -6 to +2. Yes, but no, this is a -6 because there are 3 of them, not because the oxygen changed. Remember to look at either all of them together or each of them singly. If you look at them singly, it's -2, -2, right? And so the oxygen did not change. So we have to break each of these up into separate components now and set half reactions up. So let's do that here. So my first half reaction is going to be copper 0 going to copper 2 plus. Okay. My second half reaction is going to be nitrate minus going to nitric oxide. Okay. Here I've got my +2 on this side, it's my bigger side, so I'm going to add 2 electrons to that side. Okay. Here I have my bigger side here, and so I am going to add 3 electrons on this side. Now I need to balance everything else that I have. Here I have 2 oxygens, here I have 1 oxygen, so I'm going to put 2 waters on this side. Now, as if that wasn't enough, right? I have 4 hydrogens on this side and none on this side, so I'm going to add 4 H pluses on this side to balance that out. Now we're balanced for each of them. I look at my number of electrons and they do not balance, so I've got to times this by 3, I've got to times this by 2, and let's go to the next slide and we'll put all that together. So I'm going to end up with 3 Cu going to 3 Cu2 plus 6 electrons. I'm going to end up here with 6 electrons plus 8 hydrogen ions plus 2 nitrates going to 2 nitric oxides plus 4 water. Okay, so let's go through and cancel out everything we can cancel out. I've got electrons there that will cancel out. And for this problem, that looks like it's everything, so we're going to add everything together now, and I'm going to 8 hydrogen ions plus 3 copper plus 2 nitrates goes to, forgot my 3 up here, 3 coppers, 2 pluses, plus, and I'm going to come down here and finish this really quick, 2 nitric oxides plus 4 waters. Okay, and I can go back in and balance and say, okay, I've got 3 coppers and 3 coppers, I've got 2 nitrogens and 2 nitrogens, I have 6 oxygens and 6 oxygens and 8 hydrogens and 8 hydrogens. So this is how I would balance it. It is acidic, I have H+, so I am done with that problem. Okay, let's look at the next one here. Number C, we have solid lead being mixed with lead oxide and sulfuric acid to make lead phosphate, or sulfate, yeah, sulfate. Alright, This one is a little bit more of a conundrum for us because what is being oxidized? There's a lot of stuff going on here. What's being oxidized? What's not being oxidized? What do I need to put where? Let's go through and assign all the oxidation states. This guy is going to be 0 because he's by himself. -2, -4, so this guy is +4. Sulfate is -2, so this has to be -2, or +2, so this has to, each hydrogen is +1, so that one's pretty good. Sulfate is still -2, and so this is now +2. So this is a really weird one because it is my 2 individual leads that are changing oxidation state. So when I set up my half reactions, I'm going to set each of them up using my lead, and so I will go with my lead here, go plus my H2SO4, and I have to keep this in each of my reactions because here I have that sulfate. So each of them are going to take that. Even though it's not part of the redox reaction, it's going to end up in my product, so I have to use it. PbSO4. Okay, and then my other reaction is going to be PbO2 plus H2SO4 going to PbSO4. Okay, so yes, I have to use that in both of those reactions so that I can get to the products that I need to get to. Alright, so let's go through and put on here their oxidation states and do my, this is 0, this is +2, so I'm going to have +2 electrons here. Okay, this is +4, and this is 0, or +2, sorry, so I'm going to have 2 electrons here. Alright, so now let's look at everything else. Here my PB is balanced, so I'm good there. My SO4 is balanced, I'm good there, but I have 2 hydrogens here, so I've got to add on 2 hydrogens down there. Alright, so then that one's all done, he's all taken care of. I also need to do the bottom one here. I have my lead and my lead, I have my sulfate and my sulfate. I don't have these oxygens here, so we're going to add on 2 waters to balance out my oxygen. That gives me 4 hydrogens here, and I've only got 2 here, so I'm going to add on 2 acids over here. Okay, so let me rewrite this on the next slide so that you can see all that put together. So I'm going to have PB0 plus H2SO4 going to PbSO4 plus 2H plus 2 electrons for my one step. Okay, and this one you are gaining a charge, so you're losing electrons. Okay, so it is my LEO, lose electrons oxidation step. Okay, and my second part of this is going to be 2 electrons plus 2 H pluses plus PbO2, my lead oxide, plus my sulfuric acid, going to PbSO4, my lead sulfate, plus 2 hydrogen ions plus 2 waters. Okay, now I can go through and cancel out anything that is the same. So my electrons will cancel out, my hydrogens will cancel out. Okay, and now I can go through and add, there's the bell, you guys should be walking in, you probably hear yourselves here. I'm going to add all this together, and I will go PB plus 2 H2SO4s plus PbO2 goes to 2 PbSO4s plus 2 H pluses plus 2 H2Os. Alright, so there we'll end that there, and I'll do the basic media next.